So, Gillian, is there anything special waiting for you back home?
Oh,
Of course. I mean, I hope they're not actually waiting for me per se, but I'm sure my parents will be glad to have me back when this is all over.
oh, I don't think that's quite what he meant.
Something about your parents.
No? Then what do you mean?
Oh,
Do you have a partner?
Oh, I see. Well, yes, we're all partners here, aren't we? Partners in crime.
I quite like the sound of that.
You deliberately obtuse.
And you are being nosy.
Hey, fair enough. You are a man of many mysteries, they seem.
And here I thought he was being overtly innocent. Right, you know what? We're going to have a quick shop around, see what there is before we set off again. Because I'm not in a hurry or a rush to get out into that in the wilds.
Did you hear all that noise outside?
It's just the market rabble. We should get back to work.
No, it's probably
You
just
there,
me.
If you're here to trade, step up to the counter.
Yeah, I am here to trade. This is quite the shop you've got here.
I'm telling you, I heard it. Howling. Those werewolf tales are true.
Well, why does everybody keep mentioning werewolves? It puts me on edge. That do you know anything about the attack in the marketplace? Do you know that there even was an attack in the marketplace? There's a body right outside your door.
No, as if trade wasn't poor enough. Now there's violence in the streets. It was the Forsworn, wasn't it?
Seems that way.
I lose dozens of shipments every season to those barbarians. Now they're in the city? Gods help us.
What, business is bad? You're not getting much footfall these days?
Oh, by the divines, is it that obvious?
You're the one who said it.
I swear, if my Gunnar was alive to see me now, this store would finally be on its feet if I hadn't lost my last shipment to the Forsworn attacks. A specially made Dibella statuette.
Oh.
You aren't for hire, are you? A sellsword? I'll pay you if you can recover that statuette from the Forsworn.
I'm not exactly for hire, but if I come across them, I'll do it. If I find it, I'll bring it back to you. I might... Well, let's just say I don't go finding fights, but fights seem to find me.
Thank you. I'll have a sum of gold waiting for you when you return.
Oh, lovely. That's what we like to hear. What was this shop? Arnleif and Sons? Who's Arnleif?
I inherited the store from my husband. His father was Arnleif.
Okay.
My husband, Gunnar, died about 5 years ago. Forsworn attack. I miss that stubborn oaf.
It's terrible losing somebody to violence, because you don't really have a chance to say goodbye. They're stolen from you. Well, I'll have a look at what you've got for sale before I go leaving. I'm not in a rush.
Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures.
Why does everyone say that? A jeweled flagon. I think there'll be a place for this in a museum, but it is rather pricey. And I am... Well, if I bought that, I would be beginning to run low on funds. Dark vision. Dark vision. Illusion. I don't really know... Magic. Is that a night vision spell? I'll have to remember this and come back maybe. Oh, the Book of Dawn and Dusk. That's on the list. Orion wanted that. Anything else? Anything I can sell to you? Do I still have that gold bullion? I do. I tell you what, if we purchase everything we can from her and then trade her the gold bullion, we'll get most of that money back, won't we? Okay, let's do it then. I'm gonna get that jeweled flagon. And we could also pick up a couple of other books. Waraj and the Harpies. That sounds like a B-rate bard band. Actually, you know what? I'd probably go see Gweraj and the Harpies. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to purchase as many steel arrows as I can for Inigo. And then I'm going to sell all the bullion. I know we're not getting the most money for the bullion that we possibly could, but it is heavy and it does get it out of our pack. And I think she needs the help. There we are. Lovely.
Come back whenever you need something.
Oh, I will. I bet that buttered you up to me. Right, Inigo.
I like this Lucian fellow, my friend. He may look a little flimsy, but I think he is stronger than he knows.
So do I. He's got a bit of steel to him. Sort of underneath that sort of flamboyant, sort of privileged scholar facade he has. Here, I'm going to trade a few things with you. I've got arrows.
What is yours is mine.
And what is mine is yours, unless it belongs to the museum. Here, I'm going to give you all these steel arrows that I've just bought and I've been picking up along the way.
What's next?
What's next is we go for another shop around town. No, nobody's on the streets today. There's a lot of guards patrolling. Well, I reckon there would be after yesterday. Oh.
What is this? Is that what you call it? In the Legion, we would call it useless. Look how brittle the metal.
I'm sorry. I just... Look, the forge gets so hot.
You thought what? You would skip a step? Not heat the metal all the way through? Jesus. Now do it again.
She is a cruel mistress, but a sensible one. You used to be in the Legion, did you?
Don't bother with Tacitus. Useless.
You really don't care for your apprentice, then?
Tacitus? Boy's an Imperial. I keep showing how to treat the iron, but he never gets it. In the Legion, the Imperial smiths used to read books when they couldn't set their hammers straight. Wisdom of the old, I guess. If you find a book called The Last Scabbard of Actus, would you bring it to me? Tacitus sure isn't learning by example.
If I find one, I'll bring one. I can loan it out to you from the museum if we find one for the museum. Just so you know, I'm an Imperial. I am kind of setting out to be on the path of a smith, mainly for my museum.
Thanks.
Well, where did you learn to smith? The Legion?
Grew up in a stronghold. Every Ord girl tended the forge at some point. Girl has to grow up, and life in the stronghold asks for a lot in return. So I joined the Legion, mastered my trade there.
Okay. You grew up in a stronghold then. Why did you leave?
That's right. An orc stronghold. Kept to ourselves, lived as our ancestors would have done. Wasn't enough for me though. I left. Didn't want to end up as the third wife of some lowly chieftain.
The third wife? How many wives did they take? Actually, I came across an orc stronghold out in the Reach. It was quite strongly guarded. Are they all that strongly guarded?
The strongholds keep to themselves. Skyrim hasn't always been kind to the orcs.
I don't think Skyrim's always been kind to anyone who's not a Nord.
An orc would have to make you bloodkin and send word to the chiefs.
Ooh. Well, actually, I'm kind of on the path to become Bloodkin as well if I find a particular artifact for the orcs that I met. Can you make me Bloodkin? Is finding a book for you enough for you to make me Bloodkin?
Trust like that is not freely given.
Okay. I wasn't really expecting you to make me Bloodkin. I was just curious. But what have you got for sale?
Blades, helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs.
It's down the stairs, dear. Just come right in.
Thank you. I will. Oh. Now this. That's why we nip into the alchemist, see what they had, see if I can pick up some potions, but this entire store is one large greenhouse. Oh, you got fish as well. It's almost like the sort of garden centres you see in Cyrodiil. The Hag's Cure, though, that is...
Hag's Cure is here for all your discreet needs.
Discreet neat. There's a skull on the table. Ignore the skull.
A
You...
little bit of old reach magic can cure whatever ails you.
You're not a Forsworn, are you?
I have potions for disease, love sickness, irritating children.
I don't find children that irritating, but... The Hag's Cure, that's a unique name, to put it mildly.
Comes with living to a ripe old age. People start thinking there's something magical about you. Then, the insults.
Oh.
Still, a little knowledge of plants and potions can get you by. Not that anyone likes to admit buying things from you. See? I even have a little potion for the steward. Mind handing it over to him? Just say it should solve that problem he has.
Oh, I will make sure he gets that. I'm not really an errand boy, but I'm kind of curious to see what his reaction's gonna be.
Thank you.
Oh, do you... But now, I hope you don't think I'm being presumptuous with the tattoos on your face and the antler, you know, the skull above your fireplace and on your countertop, but what do you know about the Forsworn?
Only that they break an old woman's heart. So many friends, so many kin, all lost trying to rebuild a past that was over long ago.
What, your friends in the Forsworn, or they've killed your friends? And what's your opinion on Markarth?
We'd be better off without the Silverbloods. They send their brute, Ingvar, to shake some coins from me every few days.
The Silverbloods?
And
Inga?
Silverblood is always asking for more potions to fuel Thonar's ambitions. Gives him a temper fiercer than any bear.
Wait, he wants a potion that makes him angry and temperamental. Charming. What have you got for sale?
Ah, so you're an alchemist then?
No, not really, but I'm always curious about trying to save some money making it, or buying health potions. Right, the Jarl's Steward. He should just be in here, I think. This is the key. Hello, I'm just going to nip in. No one really seems bothered that you come and go from the keeps. I guess they must be used to it.
What are you hiding, priest?
I'm not hiding anything. It's closed for a reason.
Clothes?
Typical Imperial lies. First, you take away Talos. Now you're keeping us from seeing our honored dead.
Oh, it wasn't the Empire
You,
that...
Jarl, will answer for any desecration of my ancestors' bodies.
That's enough, Thongvor. We're done.
Let's not get involved in that. There really are a lot of tensions between the Nords and the... Well, a few Nords and the Empire right now. Now this. This is a throne room, I believe. Imagine just having ancient Dwemer automata just imposingly. Oh, it's fantastic. It's magnificent. Lucy, you want to just have a look around? The steward...
You? Who are you to approach the Jarl of Markarth?
Oh, I'm not here for the Jarl, actually. I'm just actually here for the steward. More than anything. Imperial, hello. Okay. I'm just a traveller.
Very well. You may approach the mournful throne, but watch your words. Keep your eyes open for Forsworn when you're on the roads.
I will. Thank you. Thank you for being so understanding. Hello.
I'm Igmund's uncle, as well as his steward.
You are the steward. Brilliant. Igmund's uncle. You are very old for a steward, then. I actually have a delivery from Bethella at the Hag's Cure.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Here you go. Some gold for your assistance and your discretion.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, maybe I should have kept my voice down a little bit. 250 septims for that. Do I need to take that to her?
I have letters to read.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll leave you be. Well. Not quite what I expected, but... He had a bit of a straight face. He took that rather well, I think. Let's... Oh, my word. That's a centurion, isn't it? Do I'm a centurion? God, they sure know how to... Is that a Nirnroot? Are they growing Nirnroot in the palace? Or in the keep? Can I... We pinched it. We pinched it, okay. for... Well, if silver's running through Markarth, they've put that silver to good use and decked this place out. Let's have a look around before we go, because this is... Honestly, it's magnificent to see what they've done. Okay, last but not least, we're told that there's a temple to Bella at the top of here. Right, be careful where you put your feet. I do not want anyone slipping off in the rain and tumbling down here. Oh, it's horrific. I think we've come up the wrong way.
That storm, I usually prefer to appreciate them from indoors.
Yeah, I hear you, Lucian. I'm completely with you on that. I like listening to a storm when I'm in the nice, dry and warm. I love listening to the thunder. Don't really... Oh, I think maybe a guard's having a drink on the job. It's a nice enough place for it. You know what? This is actually quite cozy. This is a nice cozy spot. This is a nice spot to try wait out a storm, I think. You know, you can overlook the streets here, keep an eye on things, you got a nice warm fire, nice glass of Alto wine. It's this. I think this is it. These are, they are some very buxom statues.
The sisters are communing with Debella. They can't be disturbed.
The sisters?
You'll have to come back another time.
Oh, sorry, am I interrupting? Right, you know what, let's just give Inigo a moment to say his prayers and we'll come back. The lighting, though, it's very pink. And it sounds like, now that we've been around Markarth, we're going to be going back to the inn to try and wait out this storm again. We have actually now picked up a fair list of things to do here in the Reach. There are the Forge Master's Fingers to find. There's a shipment to recover. An artifact to locate. And a sword to retrieve for a ghost. And also, we need to find a book called The Last Scabbard to bring to Gorza here in Markarth. So our route around would be most likely all the way north, around, get the sword, go via Old Trolden, get the book, go all the way back up to deliver the Forge Master's Fingers, go across back to Markarth, and then get a carriage back to Solitude. But frankly, I don't think we're equipped for it. I think we need to gear up a bit. Because this armor that we have, that Inigo and I have, because Lucian doesn't have any armor, really. He's got he's got a pair of braces, a pair of boots, and a little helmet. He really has no armor to speak of. And Inigo and I, we're wearing...
Are you up for a bit of rhyming?
Sure.
I'll let them do that.
Be careful. Little is more dangerous than rhyming while running or climbing.
Well, it's a good thing we're waiting around then.
We'd both rather be doing this than farming or mining.
Oh, they're making it difficult to think. Yes, and this armor we have for the museum is designed to be walked around the gallery in. You know, throw out a couple of ruffians at best. It's not meant to be, you know, delving into ruins wearing this sort of thing and taking blows from bandits. It's not too bad wandering the road with it on.
I can see that. If this were a production, I'd be headlining.
I'm pretty sure you two have played this exact game before, with the exact same rhymes. But regardless, what I'm going to do is, we're going to go back to Solitude. We're going to try and ask Bayron to give us some lessons in smithing. And we're going to try create some better gear. One more suited to a little trio of adventurers. Sort of traversing Skyrim, because we're not prepared right now. We're not prepared right now at all. So, excuse me.
City of Markarth sure is a beauty. No doubt about that.
It is, but it's somewhat tainted when you see a murder happen as soon as you walk in. I'm here to hire your carriage.
Where do you want to go?
We're going to Solitude.
Climb and back and we'll be off.
Alright, thank you. Alright, hop in everyone. I'll have to introduce Lucian to Orion too.
Wait here forever.
Donations box. Oh, 200 septims. Oh. Okay, Orion's got some money coming in. That's fantastic. Speaking of, I'm gonna have to find him somewhere. But right now, right. Lucian, welcome to the gallery. You'll be staying upstairs in the safe house with us if you want. That's fine. You can always go down to the Winking Skeever if not. Take a room there. Let's get displaying what we've collected. You two were carrying things for me, weren't you?
You want to talk?
I want to see what I gave you before. I can't quite remember.
Pooling our resources.
Slowly but surely, this is starting to come together, which is a great relief. Though, of course, there are still a huge number of gaps between what we found and what we have yet to discover. We've also surprisingly got a couple of bits for the guard armor of the various holds. That's been a bit of a surprise. I didn't think we'd get that quite so quickly. Finding... Well, I say that, we only found them on the bodies of fallen soldiers and we kind of appropriated them, or their armor. Because we still need a shield for Windhelm and a load of other bits and pieces. We don't really have the sets. We're still going to need to get those sponsorships from the various Jarls of the holds. Once they sponsor us, it's probably going to be a lot easier to convince them to give us a set of guard armor and some other relics they've got hidden away. Now, oh, hello.
Very impressive.
Oh, thank you. It's worth the visit then.
Is it worth the visit? I should say so. In fact, I plan to come here quite often. The spectrum of displays you have here are simply astounding.
Oh, well, thank you.
My compliments to you and your curator. He's really done a fantastic job with the displays. And what you've managed to find, amazing.
Thank you. I mean, you're bigging us up a lot, but I imagine you're just excited for what we're going to find rather than what we've currently found, which is not a whole lot. Hello?
You must be the benefactor of this collection. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Avram Shazir. Orion hired me as the guard captain for the museum.
Oh.
With the collections growing so quickly, he needed another set of eyes to ensure it's all well protected.
Or an eye in your
I intend
case.
to also hire additional guards as the museum continues to grow. If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask.
Oh, well, thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you. Where did Orion actually hire you? May I ask? You don't seem native to Skyrim.
I answered a notice he had posted. We sat down and talked for a while, and I suppose he felt I had what it takes in the end.
Okay, and what did you do before this? Where do you come from?
Hammerfell, originally, of course. But I've been here in Skyrim for a couple years now.
Okay. And back to what you did before this.
A little of everything, really. I just left a job as a dock warehouse guard in Dawnstar. It was quite boring.
I can imagine.
I wanted something a bit more dynamic and interesting.
Well, hopefully it won't be that much more interesting, but you should have some more interesting things to look at. And how's it been? Is it nice and peaceful?
Nothing much to report. People are behaving themselves. Orion runs a tight ship around here. And all the patrons seem rather pleased.
Oh, good. I'll leave you be then.
You're back.
Oh,
Wonderful.
Oh, hello.
I trust things fare well.
Oh, they're going
I found
well.
an odd weapon from a Dunmer trader, and it turned out to be something rather impressive. Here, have a look, and place it on display if you like.
Oh, I will, thank you. Orion, this is Lucian. He's a bit of a scholar himself. He's going to be working with us for a bit from now on. No? Oh, well, I guess you're part of the crew now. The Thornblade, though. What have you picked up, Orion? 5 points of extra damage, effective against the undead. Oh, okay. No, this is a savage-looking weapon. Do I Is there a place here for it? I mean, we could use it, but it is a relic. If I unequip this, there we are. Yeah, it looks a lot better on display. It's a very cumbersome looking sword, I must say. But, right, come on you two, we're going into the safe house. And then we'll talk about how exactly we're going to go about gearing up. Now, I actually do have a busy day planned today. I'm going to go about upgrading our equipment, and that first means a visit to Behrend. If he's around. Behrend? Oh, come on, it's well into the morning.
All this waiting. Oh, surely something must be coming soon.
That's what I'm thinking about Behrend, whoever you are. I wanted to get some materials from him and have another quick lesson in smithing, so I'm ready to actually make some proper equipment. What do I do now, then? Nobody else is going to have the materials I need. I'm just going to have to wait it out. Oh, there you are. Deemed to turn up for work, did you? Excuse me.
Seems there's no end to the needs of the Imperials.
What is this?
But what can I help you with?
Is this a morning workout? Are you preparing to, or pretending to shovel coal into your smelter? You're looking at me oddly closely. Look, I'm actually just here for a lesson and to buy some materials. Can you help me with that?
Take a look.
Oh, I guess we'll find out.
Welcome to Bits and Pieces. I'm sure you'll find what you need here.
I hope so. I'm not sure whether you will have the materials I need. Do you mind if I can talk to you from here? You might, however, have a few other things. Can I have a look what you've got for sale?
Take a look.
Thank you, I shall. A large leather tent bedrock. Oh, okay, actually, we need a tent. We need a big tent, big enough for all of us. Let's pick that up. You don't, however, have any ingots that I need. I should have plenty of furs to turn into leather. Let's see what I can sell to you. Are you okay, Inigo? You're looking kind of down today. Mind if I join you for a bit? I'm just back from a little shopping trip, getting ready to make us some better gear.
Greetings.
Greetings. What's on your mind?
No, my mind is a sky without birds at the moment.
Oh, pretty empty then.
What is on your mind?
I kind of have been wondering, how exactly did you get those scars? They're very prominent. They're scratches almost.
It is quite a story. Are you sitting comfortably?
That I am, Inigo. Fire away.
It happened about a week after the Depan job and my betrayal.
The Depan job? Oh, is this the one where you think you shot me, or whoever you've mistaken for me? Or rather, whoever you've mistaken me for?
Yes. Sorry again, by the way. After the Dopan deal went sour, I managed to score a little skooma on the road. I used it and sat up all night staring at the stars. I decided I would end my life the next day. After what I did to Felix and you, I thought it best for everybody if I just went away.
Oh, Inigo. Well, for what it's worth, I'm glad you're still around. It would have been a shame if a Khajiit of your charm and sophistication and humor weren't around in the world.
You are very nice to say such things. I am glad too. I watched the sun come up, then made a noose. My camp was high near the edge of a cliff. I fastened the noose to an overhanging tree branch. I used the last of my skooma, placed the rope around my neck, and jumped off.
How would you even survive such a thing? How did you survive?
I will tell you, don't be so impatient.
Oh, sorry.
A good story often needs to take its time.
Yeah, don't interrupt the storyteller.
I remember falling, the twanging noise as the rope went taut, a brief moment of pain, a snapping noise. I thought it was my neck. Then I was falling again. The cliffs rushed past me. I thought, well, the rope didn't work, but the ground will do the trick. A wide ledge hurried up to meet me. I closed my eyes just before the impact. There was a smashing noise. Then I was underwater.
Underwater? Even in the face of death, you've kind of got a dry sense of humor, but... Right, no, don't interrupt. Go on. How did you end up in the water?
I thought, well, the ground didn't kill me, but drowning should end my sorry life. The gods had other plans, though. A current dragged me to the surface, coughing and spluttering. That's when I heard them.
Them? What did you hear, Draugr? Spiders? Bandits?
I heard clucking.
Clucking?
I was in a river being swept through a large cavern. It was dark, but I could make out many cages on the bank. Chickens strutted about outside the cages. I could smell magic. I gathered my strength and hauled myself out of the water.
I mean, it really does sound like you're making it up, but... It also sounds like you found a magical, illegal chicken farm. And don't interrupt. No, this is a very personal story. Go on. Do go on.
Inside the cages, people were bound and gagged. Ignoring the chickens, I rushed over and tried to open the first cage I came to. It was locked tight. Suddenly, I felt a pain in my foot. A chicken was pecking at me. I kicked it away, but it came back with reinforcements.
I do kind of now want to ask after that experience if you'd rather fight one horse-sized chicken or 100 chicken-sized horse. Oh no, I got all that mixed up. Sorry, Inigo. Do go on. You get the gist. Go on.
I was in a flapping, pecking nightmare. I tried to get back in the water, but before I had gone a few steps, I was knocked unconscious.
Unconscious? By a chicken? No, go on. How unconscious?
I awoke tied to a chair. There was a foul-smelling man studying me. I could hear the river nearby, but now I was in a crypt of some sort. Chickens and rabbits watched me from behind the smelly man. He said he was going to make me useful. I did not like the sound of that.
And useful how? I don't like the sound of that. What did you do?
My options were limited. I had no weapons, but I did have a little time. This fellow liked to talk. I unsheathed my claws and went to work on the ropes that held me to the chair. The man seemed to have a bit to say, so I let him talk.
People up to no good often do.
Powerful wizard, and that he had learned how to transform people into animals. Once transformed, he said I would want nothing but to aid him. He said he had a spy network of chickens and rabbits all over Skyrim.
Chickens and rabbits? Why chickens and rabbits? And if you have a spy network of chicken and rabbits, surely you go through a lot of spies, because rabbits are prime game to hunt. You know, hunt a rabbit, set a couple of snares for them, you know, got a bit of breakfast there. And chickens, they live their lives in pens and end their lives in the kitchen.
I asked why only chickens and rabbits. He replied that once I was a chicken, no one would ever take notice of me again. A bear or a mammoth would be too conspicuous. Smaller animals make the best spies. I told him if he turned me into a chicken, I'd peck his eyes out.
Oh.
He told me that the change was not only physical. I would want to do his bidding, nothing else.
What was he even hoping to achieve? I kind of see the logic that people don't really pay attention to a rabbit or a chicken. However, back on my point, they probably just get butchered very quickly. What, did you find out what he was hoping to achieve?
He said he was using the information his spy network gathered to cause hate across the land. He fed on hate. It made him stronger.
That sounds like something you'd hear in a galaxy far, far away. He's very disturbed then. How did he get away? You were cutting your ropes with your claws?
I had spied a wooden door in one wall that smelt rotten. As soon as I felt the rope around me give a little, I jumped at the door. It burst open as I hit it, and the chair broke apart. I was free. The wizard screamed in anger and loosed a spell in my direction. I dodged his attack and ran down a long stone tunnel. I heard the smelly wizard begin to laugh. "There is only death that way," he yelled. "Good," I replied. "I've been seeking that all day."
It really, you do seem quite a swashbuckling hero with quick one-liners like that. But how, was there really death that way, or was he just trying to frighten you into stopping?
I ran for what seemed like forever. Eventually, I came to a vast chamber with a spindly spiral staircase leading up in the center. The floor was littered with dried-out bodies.
Oh.
They had been dead for hundreds of years, but as it turned out, they were still quite feisty. As I made for the staircase, the dead started to groan and move. I jumped over them and began to climb the steps.
Well, I'm gonna say, if you were seeking death, why not let them kill you? But I think there's probably nicer, cleaner ways to go than being ripped apart by a group of undead.
There were too many Draugr to fight, so I concentrated on climbing. Halfway up, I spotted an opening in the ceiling. The air was fresher up there. That is when I uncharacteristically tripped. I tumbled back down the stairs. Soon the dead reached me. They clawed at me. They held me down. Dry, cracked fingers tore my face to ribbons, giving me these scars. I almost gave up. Then something amazing happened.
What? No, don't stop now. What happened?
I realized I wanted to live. I realized that my life was still worth something. I realized that I could be the person my brother knew again. This realization gave me a strength I never knew I had. I fought back, shouting, "No!" again and again. "No, you will not have my life. No, this is not where I die. No!" I struggled to my feet, fighting all the while. I snapped necks, I broke arms, I gouged out eyes. Somehow, I made it back to the staircase.
Oh, you went full feral. You were incredibly lucky, though.
I'd rather think of it as determination and purpose, but maybe
I mean, a little bit of everything.
Anyway, I reached the top of the stairs, forced open the hatch above, and stepped out into daylight. I was only a few hundred feet from my camp. I stared at the tree with the snapped rope hanging from it for a long time. I knew I owed much, and swore that I would repay any debt I could. When I realized you had survived, I decided that if anyone was going to take my life, it should be you.
No, Inigo, I thought we'd...
You know the rest. That is how I got these scars. It is a good tale, yes?
It's a fantastic tale, Inigo.
Yes, it is. Living it made me the man you see before you. Scars and all.
Honestly, I mean, you're the only one who's survived it and lived it, so only you know if it's all how true it is and like how many details are being embellished or things you're misremembering. But I do believe it all happened to you. I'll leave you be. You still think that I'm the person that you shot. I thought we'd cleared up that little detail. I'll leave you be for now.
Goodbye for now.
Yeah, you take care, buddy. You do seem a bit more chipper now. And it is time for me to get to work crafting. We don't have too many materials, however, it might be a good place to start making me some new threads. I picked up a schematic I want to try to do justice from Bayron before. But to begin with, I do need to separate this backpack from that Charm of Julianos. Let's get that. Excellent. We can put that in a museum now. And I'm going to need to turn the furs that I gathered, into leather. I could save some of it for the exhibits in the museum, however, we can always get more leather later, or more hides later, more furs. And right now, the priority needs to be better equipment. I do need to turn this into a large tent with enough bedrolls for all of us. There we are. And let's start with the smithing. Now this feels much better. I think I've done it justice. I've got a nice shirt underneath. It's a bit more armoured, a bit thicker, a bit more durable against the cold, and a bit more road ready than museum armour. However, I didn't actually have enough materials to outfit Inigo and Lucien respectively. Lucien can take the armour I used to wear. Inigo's still wearing the armour. So I suppose it's a slight increase, but I'm thinking our next trip should be a material gathering expedition rather than a relic gathering expedition. And we did come across... There was a mine out in Markarth. We could try go over there, see what it actually had in it. Because if it had iron or copper, because what we need is steel. So if it has iron and copper, we could go over there, spend a day around there, spend a night in the hut outside it. Just spend time gathering those materials. Did we come across any other mines? No, we did not. Because other than that, it's going to be maybe a trip to Morthal, then up to Dawnstar, which I am led to believe is a port town, so it might have a fair bit of trade going on there. And then maybe round to Winterhold, because these are the last 3 holds we haven't yet visited, so it might be a good idea to actually get them checked off the list, and then we'll worry about the things that we've collected on our to-do list and start ticking them off. I think that's what we'll do. I'll go fetch Inigo and Lucien. Should we walk to Markarth? Ah, we'll get the carriage. Notes on Cyrus's saber. Cyrus the Red Guard became a brigand, rebel, and revolutionary in Hammerfell during the rise of Tiber Septim's empire. He and his sister were responsible for the liberation of Stros Mackay Island during this time. Once his task was completed, he reportedly passed his blade down to the Nord captain Tobias, who kept the blade as a mantle of bravery and passed it down to his successors. Ages later, the blade nearly rotted away. It was a mere trinket to the captain of the Brinehammer, a shadow of its prior glory. I've since learned that the Brinehammer was due in Dawnstar several months back and never arrived. I fear that any possible clues about Cyrus' saber still exist, or not, are lost to the depths of the sea. Or existing or not are lost to the depths of the sea. We'll take this. We are going in the general direction of Dawnstar. Maybe if we go along the coast, we'll actually encounter maybe clues to what happened to the Brinehammer. Unless it really did just like, they decide, oh, you know what, we're not going to Dawnstar, it's not profitable. And before I forget, I also actually have oil crafting tools. I picked these up from Behrend, and he says they should give me the edge in combat. However, I'm going to need to acquire some other materials. Glass for one, charcoal, and an empty... Well, I can make these empty bottles. I'm going to need glass. Got firewood, got glass, can get glass. Imagine from a trader. Let's do that before we leave properly. I want to make sure we're as equipped as we can be. I hope so. And just a flying visit.
Yes?
What have you got for sale?
Some might call this junk. Me? I call them treasures.
Alright, glass. 20 glass. Oh, that's quite pricey. But it's an investment. We do have firewood. We can always get more firewood for ourselves for free. Alright,
I'm
thank
back
you.
to bits and pieces anytime.
Where are you from, Indigo?
Well, Julian, I grew up in Riverhold, but I spent a lot of my formative years in Citadel. A part of me will always reside there, I think.
No way! That's where I'm from. Have you ever been to the Imperial City?
No.
I wondered that.
My brother and I planned to, but we never quite made it. Anyway, I have always wanted to go. Tell me about it, please.
Where to begin? People from all walks of life, every race and creed, mingle on broad, clean streets that glow almost white in the sun. New sights and sounds delight and challenge your senses at every turn. Swallows nest high in the pale walls, flitting from the crenellations to swoop and dive and play above saints and sinners alike.
You should have been a poet.
And watching over it all, the white gold tower stands sentinel, an unrivaled ode to wisdom and accomplishment. Its beauty is beyond words. Ah, I do miss it.
Wow, it sounds amazing. I am sure you will see it again in time.
And when you do...
It's quite natural to miss home, but adventuring is a home all of its own.
That's a lovely way to put it.
Skyrim is full of wonders, and we must make the most of them while we are here to enjoy them.
I couldn't agree more.
Exactly. Well said, both of you, because when you do go back to the Imperial City, you'll have all these adventures and tales to tell of, and all the times you spent backtracking when you were working for a museum. But the reason we stopped in the first place was because we now have the materials for, or to use, the oil crafting tools. So let's make a couple of bottles. And then we can actually see what oils we can make. We can make a caustic oil that eats away at body tissue, causing 6 poison damage with every strike. Wears off after 10 strikes. A health oil, a restorative oil to be applied to the skin. Restores 13 health every 10 seconds. Or for every second for 10 seconds. I can read the instructions correctly.
Solitude is really quite something.
Oil sapping, a stinging oil that assaults the blood and the nerves, drains the target's magic and stamina by 13 points per second for 5 seconds. Applied to a weapon and wears off after 10 strikes. That could be very useful. And stamina. A muscle warming oil to be applied directly to the skin. Restores 13 stamina every second for 10 seconds. That does require iron ore fragments. Oh, and this sapping oil takes ruby fragments and corundum ore fragments. I'm not quite sure what the charcoal's for. Maybe that'll become apparent later. We do then need, we want to make this health oil, iron ore fragments. But we can see about that once we get to Morthal. Speaking of, come on gentlemen. We're going to catch the carriage down here. Is that man? Oh, he is okay. I thought he had stood out with his arms straight for a moment there, but it was a false alarm. Excuse me, sir. It's us again.
Need a ride?
That I do. I need to hire your carriage.
Where do you want to go?
We're going to Morthal.
Climb and back,
And
we'll be off.
For some reason, costs far more than going to the other. You're cold. Right, okay, everybody bundle into the back. Let's get nice and warm together.
One of them cats. Khajiit, I think they call themselves.
Those
I hear
Khajiit?
there's whole countries full of them down
No, I've never seen one before in my life. Have we, Inigo?
What's the Jarl going to do about it?
How are we supposed to feel safe in our own homes?
Please, enough already. I have told Ygritte of your concerns. She'll look after you all. Please, go about your business.
We've no need for wizards in our midst.
Morthal has enough problems as it is.
It's no use. Let's get back to it then.
Can we go anywhere in Skyrim where there isn't currently any problems plaguing the locals?